Today we're going to be talking about the Adobe Illustrator interface, and if you've ever used an Adobe program, you're going to notice that this is very similar to Photoshop and InDesign. The interfaces are all supposed to look similar, so it makes it easier for you to figure out what is where and how to get to it. Now before we get to that, we need to talk about getting this program on your computer and getting the right version of it on your computer. So first, if you don't have the Adobe Creative Cloud, you'll need to follow that link and go to the Adobe Creative Cloud and download it. Once you've downloaded it, you'll need to sign into it. Now, if you're a regular person out there, you need to have a subscription to this. It is a monthly fee. If you are a student, you likely get this free of charge from your school. You need to make sure you're signed into the right account, and that's up here to the right. You can see your little account options. So make sure you're signed into the right account. Now, you'll get options of a lot of different apps here. There are a lot of things that this comes with, but the one we're looking for today says Illustrator, that orange AI. Now, depending on your use of this program, you may need specific versions of this software. Now, if you're just using it to learn and you're only working on one computer, you're not looking for certification or anything like that, just download the newest version. You'll be good to go. Now, if you're a student and you're moving between multiple computers, or you expect to take certification tests along the way, you're going to need very specific versions of this software. To get to that, we're going to click on these three little dots here, and you're going to go to where it says Other Versions. So Adobe releases a version on all of its software monthly, and most of them are just performance updates, making things work a little better. About once every other year, there will be a bigger update that comes in that actually changes something. If that happens and things look different on your version of Illustrator than mine, I promise you, you can still do the exact same things. You just might have to work a little bit to find what I'm talking about. It doesn't change so much that you won't be able to follow me. So look through the versions, and whichever version your instructor or Certiport is telling you to grab, find that version of that software. They do usually have one that's a long-term supported one. That's usually the most stable of the lot, but whichever floats your boat as far as what you download. So I've got the newest version. When I've got that, I'll click on Open right here. It'll take it a moment to open Illustrator, and then you'll come to a screen that looks very similar to this. What we see here is the basics, right? You can open a file or create a new file. On the left, you've got the option for Home, which is what we're looking at. Learn, if you want different tutorials, and then your files, things that were shared with you or things that you've deleted, will all be down here as well. We're just going to stick on Home. Now, if you were to try to create a new file, and I'll click on that, you'll see the new document dialog, and in this dialog you have preset sizes all throughout this that you can pick from. So if you're a social media manager and you need a YouTube thumbnail, there it is right there. It's already got the size made for you. You can click on that, hit create, it'll make that for you. So I'll click on that and hit create, and you see it'll make that exact document size for me. But that's not what I want to do today. What I want to do today is open the document that I've given you. It's called Adobe Illustrator Interface. Notice that it ends in a .ai. That is an Adobe Illustrator file. So this is the basics of the interface. This is what you're going to see when you start working on this. So let's go over what I'm actually looking at first. So on the left-hand side, I have what's called the toolbar. And the toolbar has all of the tools that you want. Now the basic breakdown for this version of the toolbar is that it shows an area like select, and these are your selection tools. It says shapes, here are your shape tools. This is the learning toolbar, and we can alter and change which ones we use depending on how good or what we need in this program. Down at the bottom of all of them, you will see the color picker though. The color picker shows what color you have as a fill, a stroke. Down here at the bottom, it shows fill, gradient, none. These are your different color options that you can work with. So there's a lot of caveat around this bottom area, but it will stay the same no matter what toolbar you're on. If you want to stay on this toolbar, I fully understand it. There will be times I say certain tools that might not be here though. So if you ever hear me say a different tool, you need a different toolbar. So let's look at the different toolbars real quick. Now to do that, we're going to go to a place where we can change anything in the interface, and that's under Window. Window is where you go to find anything interface related. So if I go to Window and I look at Toolbars, I can see that I'm on the Getting Started toolbar. But there are two others. One's called Basic, and I'll click on that. And here's my Basic toolbar. If I go to Window again, go to Toolbars, click Advanced, I can see my Advanced toolbar. Now I'm going to go back to my Basic setup real quick. So let's go to Window, Toolbars, Basic. Now it comes in a single column like this. If I want it to be a little bit thicker, if I want to be able to see it better, I can go up here to the top and look for these two little arrows. If I click on that, it gives me this two column breakdown, which allows me to see my tools a little better, especially if you're on a smaller screen. If you're on a big screen, single column might work for you, right? So I'm on this shorter screen, so I'm going to make it kind of shorter here. Now, if you find yourself missing tools, you can click on these three little dots down here, and these are the tools down here that you may be missing. So if you're missing a tool and you want to bring it over, for example, the magic wand tool, if I want that in my tools, I can drag that over here. If I hover over a tool, I can put it in that set, or I can put it under or around those sets, depending on what I want to do. It's up to you. So if at any point you hear me talking about a tool that you don't see, hit those three little dots, you'll find it in that list of things. As I work through this program, I'm going to live in the Advanced toolbar. So I'm going to go to Window, Toolbar, Advanced. Pick whichever one works for you, but it may be a little easier to follow this tutorial series if you're looking at the same thing that I am. Up at the top, we have what's called the main menu. That's File, Edit, Object. All of this stuff up here is your main menu. You're going to notice beside a lot of these combinations of Alt, Shift, and a letter, these are your shortcuts. And I'm going to say a lot of these, but understand that every shortcut I say can be found up here in the main menu. So if I say Command-C, Command-V to paste, you can go to copy and paste right here too. So it's always up here in your main menu, and getting good with this program really is experimenting with this main menu and knowing where things are. So spend some time looking up there. Now there is a piece of the interface that comes in missing off the bat, and it's called the control panel. And I'm a big believer in using this control panel up here. So I'm going to go to Window and Control, and that gives me a lot of options depending on what I have selected right there at a quick grab. Now most everything that's up here can also be found in your Properties panel on the right. And when it comes to certification, this bar does not show up automatically. You can pop it on if you would like, but my students struggle with it. So I'm just going to leave it off and teach you how to do everything without that control panel up there. If you'd like it up there, feel free to leave it there, but I'm going to turn it off. Now the next thing you may notice is this bar down at the bottom that says Help. You can turn this off as well. Window, Help bar, you can just kind of turn that off if need be. The other thing you may notice is this contextual bar that kind of bounces around. This can be beneficial for you if you know what you're doing with it and it doesn't get in your way a lot. If you find this getting in your way like I do, hit Window, and that's called Contextual Taskbar. You can turn that off. I'm going to leave mine off for the most part. You may see me pop it on once in a while, but I don't like it being in my way all the time. Now over on the right hand side you have your panels, and the panels are where I want to do something a little different. So the panels are Properties, Layers, Libraries, and then there's another one right here called Comments. I want to drag all of these into the middle of my document. I just kind of want to push them all in here. They don't need to be anything pretty. Now I want to get rid of Comments. I don't use it. I want to get rid of Libraries. I don't use it in this tutorial, so I'm going to get rid of that. And I'm going to be left with just my Properties and my Layers panel. Now to work with these panels, you can kind of do a lot with them depending on what you want. So the first thing I want to do is put these together. So if I click on the word Layers and I hover next to my bar, notice it's not where it actually snaps. It's where you see this blue line light up. If that blue line lights up, it's going to snap these two together. When I release, these are now one panel. They're going to move together. When I separate them out, I can move them individually again. I can put that on the left side, I can put that on the bottom side, I can put it above the properties so that they're connected vertically. But what I want to do is put them in the same box. I want to put Layers right here with Properties. You'll see the entire box light up blue. And that puts them together. Now your Layers panel, If you've ever played with Photoshop, you know that your layers panel is probably your most essential panel in the set. In Illustrator, I'm not saying it's not important, but there is a lesser amount of importance to it. You're not going to find yourself going to it as often as you did Photoshop. Now, it works much the same way. You have your different layers, you have your eyeballs, you can kind of turn off your different visibilities. In this blank spot, you can lock your different layers, and I'll lock that red one just for future sake. But the layers don't actually show up like you think they would. These are called parent layers. So these top layers are your parent layers. And inside of each one are all the actual layers that go into making your document. So you're not going to make new layers accidentally. You're going to work under one parent layer the whole time unless you tell Illustrator to do anything different. Think of the parent as a group from Photoshop. So I'm going to click on the work area and I'm going to make sure I have that selected. I'll click on the properties panel, and that's where I'm going to live for the most part. Properties does a lot for me. Now I could drag this over to the left and connect it to my toolbar. I could connect it to the bottom of my interface, but really the best place for it is over on the right hand side. You'll see it light up blue on the right. That's how you know you've done it right, and it'll snap to it. Once we're looking at this, the last piece of the interface is this tab up here. Now you can have multiple documents open and that'll give you multiple tabs. You can click on these and move these around. So if you wanted multiple tabs open at the same time, you could do that. But it can create kind of an issue for you. So if you find that it does, you can grab this just like the panels and drag them up to link them into that top spot, putting it back where it was. A couple of shortcuts. If you hit F on your keyboard, you can enter a more full screen mode. If you hit F again, you can do that and it'll get rid of all of your panels. So F is your shortcut for full screen. Now, everything that I have here, my toolbars, my panels over on the right, my main menu at the top, all of this together is called a workspace. And this is the workspace I want you to have. So I want you to go up to Window at the top, and I want you to look for the word Workspace. And we're going to go to New Workspace down here. And you can name this whatever you would like. Hit OK. And when you've got that, if you make mistakes, if your toolbar magically walks away, if your interface is kind of popped up or something's changed, you can go to Window, Workspace, and you can reset the whatever you'd like workspace. And that'll go right back to where it was. Mine did bring back comments for some reason. You can just exit out of that if need be. So this is a quick and easy way to kind of find anything and everything that I'm talking about in this program. You can move these panels around, and a lot of times you'll find that certain things disappear, like the toolbar. Remember that it's all under Window at the top. So Window, Toolbars, where's my toolbar? There it is right there. Put it back into place. So the last main piece we're going to look at are the artboards. The artboards are these white boards that we're looking at. So just to get a better view of this, I'm going to turn off my worksheet layer and I'm going to zoom out a little bit. This white box is my artboard, and I can have as many or as few of these as I want. So over in my properties panel, if I click on Edit Artboards, it'll select my artboard tool. Now once I've got my artboard tool, I can come over here to the right and I'll look at my artboard name. I could name my artboard, and I can hit that plus symbol over here on the right to create a new artboard. And I can make as many or as few of these as I want. I can make hundreds of artboards if I want. And you'll notice that some people have very complicated artboard systems. So if I zoom out, I can see all of those artboards that I just made. Now a quick note and a reminder that Command or Control Z will take you back as many steps as you would like in Illustrator. So if you find yourself in a mess, Command Z will get you back. Artboards themselves are just white boards with art on them, right? But anything that you create, if you have stuff going way off into this gray pasteboard area, you will cut off when you make it into a JPEG or a PNG or whatever file type you want. So this white artboard will crop any of that additional information that might be off the edges. So you don't have to be as crystal clean all the time. You should, but you don't have to be. So what did we learn today? We learned a lot about the interface and the different types of toolbars. We talked about the control panel at the top and the main menu up at the top. We looked at our workspace and our panels and how they can be adjusted and altered. We looked at how to add tools that you may not be able to see along the way. So there is a lot to be said about the actual interface of this program. I'm expecting you to have your own workspace made now so that if anything goes wrong, you can just reset your workspace and you'll be back right here where I am. That's the goal. So that's your daily dose of design. If you found this helpful in any way, shape, or form, please like, subscribe to the channel. It always helps me out. I appreciate it. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next one.